Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you how to use a REST API in Swift. So REST APIs are pretty fundamental actually. Basically they just allow you to get data from a server and it will just return it back. So we send a request to a HTTPS. It depends, but a HTTP or a HTTPS server, and they just give you back a response. So to get a response in Swift, what you have to do is use something called URL session. So to set that up, what I'm going to do first is create a URL string. I just have one already. It's called. It will give you the location of something from an IP address. Now I'm not going to use my real IP address because that's quite scary, but what I'm going to do is just give a random IP address. This is just one somewhere in Canada, but yeah. So this is my URL string, and if I bring up Safari right now, then copy this and put this in. You can see it returns this. Now this is what we're going to return into Swift. So I'll close this now. And to get the URL string, the response, all we do is create a URL. So let's first check if this is going to work. So string URL string. Now we can use our URL here. So we start a URL session, and what we do is .shared .data task with URL request URL, and we want data response error in. And now this one we also need to resume it afterwards, otherwise it will just get stuck here. So now that we've resumed it, we need to get our data. We need to check if our data is valid. So we just do if let data is equal to data, and now we can just get the JSON string from that data. So if let JSON string equals string data. So all we're doing is converting this data into a string, and we want to use encoding. You can either use any of these, but I just use UTF-8 to keep it simple. And then what we can do here is we can just print the URL string. Why did I put that in commas? Print JSON string. Okay, so I'll name this REST API call. And if I run this right now, it will actually not work because we haven't added a specific key into our info.plist. Basically, since we're using HTTP, it's not secure, which means some hackers or someone could actually get into your phone and start stealing confidential data, something like that. But yeah, so you can see error could not be loaded because it requires the use of a secure connection. So to fix this, all we do is go to our info.plist, and then what we do is we add a key here, ns app transport ns app transport security, and this is a dictionary. And now what we need to do is add a subkey inside of this. So if I just add something here, allow arbitrary loads, and if we just set this to true, yes, then our script should work. So you're gonna see it's gonna return it. There we go. Country Canada, and yeah. So we got the response, and in the next tutorial what I'm going to be explaining is how to parse this data so that we can actually get it in a readable format. So yeah, bye and see you later.